If your 4th of July plans involve watching fireworks light up the night sky, you might want to double check your city's calendar. Some communities are skipping the sparkle this year, not just because of fire danger, but also due to immigration policies. For generations, fireworks have been a staple of Independence Day, a symbol of national pride. But this year, some cities are not feeling the festive spirit. Several Latino-majority communities are postponing or canceling their July 4th events. In Los Angeles, the Boyle Heights Beat reports a city council member is pushing events to August following ICE immigration raids. Some neighborhoods may still host celebrations, but others are calling them off entirely. One LA neighborhood is canceling its 66th annual Independence Day parade, saying in a social media post, "We stand with our community." Bell Gardens and Cudahy are also pulling back on their celebrations, citing safety concerns. Meanwhile, Cudahy's vice mayor is facing controversy for a now deleted video reposted by the DHS in which she appears to encourage street gangs to respond to ICE presence.
Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
In response, DHS posted on X, Secretary Noem has been clear. If you assault a federal officer, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Aside from that, several No Kings 2.0 protests are being organized in multiple cities across the country on the 4th of July. If that sounds familiar, a similar movement swept through over 2,000 cities June 14th, protesting President Trump's policies and actions. But the political climate is not the only reason behind the firework fizzle. In some cities, fire safety is also prompting cancellations or a switch to safer alternatives. Just this week, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a record fireworks seizure, more than 600,000 pounds confiscated this year alone. State officials say illegal fireworks have cost over $35 million in damage since last year. Some cities are instead replacing their fireworks with drone shows, but regardless of how you celebrate, experts are urging increased caution on July 4th amid tensions between the US and the Middle East and possible retaliatory attacks.
A massive explosion at a fireworks warehouse in Northern California, caught on camera, has left 7 people missing. Thick black smoke filled the air as debris flew from the warehouse and dozens of secondary explosions rocked the area. The blast triggered evacuations and knocked out power to roughly 150 homes and farms. Flames from the explosion burned through 78 acres of vegetation. 2 people were hurt in the initial blast. As of Wednesday, search teams were keeping a safe distance, using drones and aircraft to look for the missing. Officials have not confirmed whether those unaccounted for are employees or bystanders. The cause of the explosion, just days before Independence Day, remains under investigation. Authorities say the destroyed facility was a licensed pyrotechnics business, but it's unclear whether fireworks were produced there or simply stored there for sale. The blast happened in the community of Esparto, around 40 miles west of Sacramento.
Japan is trembling. Quite literally, over 900 earthquakes have struck in a relentless wave, turning calm coastlines into zones of unease. And now, all eyes are locked on the 5th of July, a date that is wrapped in dread, folklore, and a very chilling manga prophecy. So what's coming may not just be another quake, it could be the one. Take a look.
The earth is rumbling beneath Japan, and it's not stopping. In the past 2 weeks alone, over 900 earthquakes have rattled on a remote island, is unleashing a storm of seismic fury that feels less like nature and more like a warning. The ground won't rest, and neither will the fear. The rumor originates from a 2022 Japanese comic book, The Future I Saw, which features a dream for seeing a tsunami and is also available in Chinese. The popular manga artist, known for eerily accurate past predictions, forewarned of a catastrophic disaster striking Japan in early July, specifically pinpointing July 5th. The fears of a megaquake have led to flight cancellations and reductions in service, affecting tourism. Experts are repeatedly asserting that these are just rumors.
There are three conditions for earthquake predictions: timing, location, or its magnitude. With today's scientific technology, we cannot predict an earthquake. Such spreading rumor is a hoax.
Now, over the past 2 weeks, the remote Tokara Islands, part of Japan's Kagoshima Prefecture, have been battered by close to 1,000 tremors, with over 235 striking in a single day. Tokyo now has urged the 89 residents of a small southern island to evacuate. Despite the assurances from the Japanese government, people are worried. What if the prophecy is right? What if these tremors are the prelude, the foreshocks to something unspeakable? Japan lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a geological crucible where colossal tectonic plates collide. This makes it one of the most seismically active regions on Earth, prone to devastating earthquakes and the subsequent terrifying tsunamis, one of humanity's deepest primal fears. Bureau Report, WION World is one.
Iran is officially cutting off nuclear cooperation with the United Nations atomic watchdog, and it's blaming the United States and Israel for triggering the move. President Masoud Pezeshkian signed a new law suspending all collaboration with the International Atomic Energy Agency. That includes blocking inspections, restricting site access, and potentially removing surveillance cameras from Iran's nuclear facilities. Iranian officials say the decision was a direct response to U.S. and Israeli airstrikes that targeted nuclear sites in Fordow, Isfahan, and Natanz during the recent 12-day conflict. Iran says more than 900 people were killed in Iran, while Israel says 28 people died in retaliatory attacks. Inspectors already in Iran are reportedly safe, but their access to nuclear sites was revoked. Tehran now says future visits will require special approval from its Supreme National Security Council. The IAEA has not yet received official notice from Iran, but warns the move could seriously impact global oversight. Director Rafael Grossi called the attacks on nuclear sites reckless, and Western allies are backing him. Britain, France, and Germany condemned recent threats from Iranian media, calling for Grossi's arrest, and even his execution. Russia, meanwhile, is demanding an investigation into the environmental impact of the strikes, and says the attacks violate international law. Inside Iran, lawmakers are doubling down. Some are now pushing to exit the 2015 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty altogether, and the country says it will enrich uranium, quote, as needed, including to weapons-grade levels. Still, Tehran maintains that its nuclear program is solely for peaceful purposes. For now, international monitors are locked out, and the world is left watching a nuclear standoff escalate without eyes on the ground.
The Saudi Royal Air Defense Force has officially commissioned the THAAD Defense Unit following the successful completion of the system testing, evaluation and field training of personnel. The THAAD, or Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, uses a combination of radar and interceptors to thwart the short, medium and intermediate range ballistic missiles. Now, its missiles have a range of about 150 kilometers to 200 kilometers. And according to an April report by the Congressional Research Service, THAAD batteries usually are made up of 95 soldiers, 6 truck-mounted launchers, 48 interceptors, 8 for each launcher, 1 radar system and a fire control and communications component. THAADs do not carry an explosive warhead, which allows them to reach high altitudes pretty quickly. The THAAD commissioning is part of Saudi Arabia's broader defense project that is aimed at boosting the country's air defense capabilities. The THAAD battery system procurement was first signed in 2017 as part of a $15 billion deal made in the United States. Now, President Trump's first term during a visit to Saudi Arabia, one key condition of the THAAD procurement was that the system should be locally produced in the country. In the month of May, it completed the first domestically manufactured components of THAAD. It followed 2 contracts that were signed during the 2024 World Defense Show in Riyadh as part of a broader strategy to localize key THAAD components. Now, Saudi Arabia has steadily increased its defense manufacturing capabilities, with military spending localization reaching about 19.35% in recent years, up from just 4% in 2019. The country aims to surpass 50% by 2030, in line with its Vision 2030 goal to establish a self-sufficient defense sector.
There's been a record number of migrant boat crossings into the UK in the last 1 week. The British Home Office says 20,000 people have come in on small boats in the first half of this year, an increase of some 50% over the same period in 2024. And they spell added heat on Keir Starmer's government. In the latest incident, more than 100 migrants were seen departing on 2 inflatable boats from France's coastal town for the UK. Around 60 to 70 people were on each boat, and some were not wearing life vests. Another group of migrants tried to get on one of the boats, but were turned back, while others walked along the dunes, some wearing life jackets. Data from Britain's Interior Ministry shows that the staggering increase in number of migrant boats heading for the UK in the past 1 week. On Sunday, 585 migrants on 8 boats arrived in the UK. The number shot up the next day with the arrival of a record 879 migrants on 13 boats. The arrivals continued on Tuesday, with 440 migrants arriving via the English Channel on 8 boats. In a bid to address the issue, France and Britain will unveil measures to stop more small boats from reaching Britain at a UK-France summit next week. The UK government has been under pressure to reduce the number of boat crossings for years now. Prime Minister Keir Starmer had pledged to smash the gangs behind the People's Smuggling Operation. Successive operations have criticized the government's handling of the issue of rising migrants.
All right, let's now shift our attention to the other big story that we are tracking on Race to Power. Now, amidst the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration, a new anti-ICE app called ICE Block is now making waves online, soaring up the App Store charts after drawing criticism directly from the White House. A free crowdsourced app called ICE Block lets users drop pins on a map showing where the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Officers, or ICE agents, have recently been sighted. To report a sighting, the users must be within an 8-kilometer radius of the location. The app then pushes real-time alerts to users about these reported sightings. To combat spam and to ensure accuracy, the app limits reporting to once every 5 minutes per user, and all reports are automatically deleted after 4 hours. Now, developed by Joshua Aaron, ICE Block ensures user anonymity by not logging any user information or location data. The app is now the #1 free social networking app in the United States of America, and also the 3rd most downloaded free app on the US Apple App Store chart. Now, designed for broad accessibility within the immigrant population, the app is currently available in 14 languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Hindi, and Nepali. Now, the app's popularity is surged after the US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem publicly criticized CNN's coverage of ICE Block on X, saying that the app is an obstruction of justice. Now, Kristi Noem, who accompanied the American president during his recent visit to a migrant detention center in Florida Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, had this to say when asked about the ICE Block app. Listen in.
We're working with the Department of Justice to see if we can prosecute them for that, because what they're doing is actively encouraging people to avoid law enforcement activities, operations, and we're going to actually go after them and prosecute them for the partnership of family if we can, because what they're doing we believe is illegal.
Now, in a statement, ICE's acting director also criticized the app, saying that it paints a target on federal law enforcement officers. And currently, the app is only available on the Apple App Store. The app developer Joshua Aaron has said that he has no plans to release the app on Android, as that would mean collecting user data, which could potentially put ICE Block app users in danger.
South African authorities have confirmed new outbreaks of the highly pathogenic H5N1 avian influenza strain in 2 poultry farms, according to the World Organization for Animal Health. These are the country's first reported cases since September 2024. The Paris-based agency noted that the virus, known for its severe impact on bird populations and potential risk to humans, was detected during routine surveillance. Although H5N1 rarely infects humans, health experts continue to monitor the situation closely due to its potential to mutate. The government has not yet reported any human cases. However, the public is being urged to avoid contact with sick or dead birds and to report unusual poultry death in veterinary services. The outbreak poses a threat to South Africa's poultry industry, which was hit hard by similar outbreaks in recent years, leading to culling and trade restrictions.